Hello and welcome back to the Ringgit Oh Ringgit channel. Hi, I'm Suraya and this is Lemon. Say hi, Lemon. In case you're new here, I run a website called ringgitohringgit.com. It's a personal finance blog, and inside it I write a lot about personal finance and specifically about how I manage money in my life. So with money management, spending money, I guess, is the easy part to be mindful of. There's a lot of information online about companies that are good, companies that are bad. Maybe you also do your research before you buy things. I certainly do. Maybe you have certain companies that you don't mind paying a little bit for because you know that they contribute better pay, better diversity, they do better CSR, and these are all companies that we want to support. So that part is kind of sort of the easy one, but how about in the world of investing? As much as I want to say that I want to support good companies, and I do, profit matters too. I want to acknowledge that it is not either or, it is both. I want best of both worlds. I want companies that are good and companies that are ethical. And thankfully nowadays, that's not a hard thing to get because we have more options now as Malaysians. Ethical investments are now more and more available. I personally am in full support of ESG investments, SRI investments. I'm gonna put like what the meaning of those two terms up here so you know what it is. To help me explain what those things are, I'm not an expert in this space, but to help me explain is Mr Najmuddin. He is from BIMB Investment. This is what he says what ESG investment is.
I'm Najmuddin Mohd Lutfi. So I'm the CEO for BIMB Investment Management Berhad. It's an Islamic fund management company. It has been around for about 25 years now. What ESG really means in the investment world is really the ability to look at companies' non-financial information. In the investment world, we always analyze financial information, the balance sheet. How does the company does in terms of financial? In our case, our partner with Arabas, what ESG means, it also looking at more than 250 factors. And the great thing is the technology that we have now is that when it comes to ESG data, everything is done quantitatively. There is no elements of biases or views or opinions from anyone. It was done quantitatively. It sourced data from more than 50,000 sources. I mean, that includes news from NGOs, whatever the consumers say about the company, whatever reports out there. So it's very independent.
You know how stock people say, especially value investors, right? They say buy good companies and then hold them for a long time. That's pretty much their approach. So I like what Mr. Najmuddin said about the data points, because now finally we can kind of quantify what is good. What is good? This is such a vague word. What is it? So I like that we now have a consistent, systematic approach to figure out what is good.
I give you some examples, great examples how ESG really add value in our investment process. For our global fund, for instance, we were able to avoid some of the leading scandals, some of the global scandals. I think that one, I'm sure everyone knows about the ExxonMobil oil spill. Maybe some of you also know about, the Toshiba accounting scandals. I think the most recent one was Nissan, and a couple more, a few more. Of course, this company has done well now, but we were able to avoid these companies, although financially they look strong, but because of the assessment that we had on ESG, we removed the companies or the stocks, before the news, broke out about the companies, which then affected the share price. And this is because of the factors, the 250 factors that have ESG factors that really indicated that the scores for ESG for that particular companies were low, and it was removed temporarily from the portfolio. The thing is about ESG is all about data. Yeah. So, and we are in the we're in investment. So we're investing in companies. We're always looking for opportunities. Companies that have great potentials. The thing is, the problem is, we don't have enough data for emerging companies. A lot of these emerging companies, the small companies, the medium-sized company, they don't release a lot of information in the market.
Personally, I do have money in Best Invest, and we do have a collaboration going on. So I appreciate Mr. Najmuddin taking his time to explain to us and appear in this video and share with us the challenges of having this this kind of new way, technology-assisted way of doing investment. So thank you very much for your kind input over there. If I'm gonna be super honest with you, of course I am skeptical of all of these claims by the financial institutions. But you know what? I believe that best effort counts. It is very important for us to still be critical of the reporting. We can't just trust them at face value. There must always be some sort of accountability, whether or not their data points are good, whether or not the algorithm that they use are not biased. At the end of the day, humans make algorithms, and biasness from humans can translate to algorithm. Anyway, the point of all of this is just to kind of explore together with you that it is not just money, it's not just looking at profits when it comes to investing, but it's also how the money is being used. You as an investor, like the money is being used, and the company that invest your money on your behalf is doing due diligence on your behalf so that they can help good companies be better, so that overall everyone benefits. And I myself, in my own small capacity as a content creator, try as much as possible to encourage ethical approach to all aspects in our life, not just investing, but also the way that we live and the way we treat each other. Then that is all the best that I can do right now. Do your best to make sure that your money doesn't just serve you but also serve the community. Thank you so much, Mr. Najmuddin, for the collaboration. I do have if you want to check out my experience with using Best Invest, I wrote a whole article about that. You can find it in the description box below.